हरि ओम्। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धे भवतु मे सदा। वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। हरि ओम्। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Yes, can someone recollect what is it that we saw last? We form the link and we move ahead. Yes, please. Anybody?
Fine.
Anything? Yes, please. Yes. Anyone?
So, we discussed that a true yogi doesn't have desire, and a beginner would still have to, like be vigilant and have that self-control, while an ascended master would act in equanimity because that he has mastered. So that's the
Okay,
difference.
interesting. Shweta ji said that. So the why is how is a beginner? The beginner is going to ascend because of the karmas only, isn't it? And then the beginner by his karmas only is going to become the master. So if you look at the master, it was the master who has become a master by virtue of the actions. The ascension is taking place because of that. So karma cannot be let aside. That was one thing Krishna was saying. Nidhi is saying something. Yes, please.
Uh, there should be renunciation of desires and not
Yes.
renunciation of action.
Yes, yes, that's an important distinction. Renunciation of desires, not renunciation of actions. So I think with this we are ready. In the sixth adhyaya, Krishna has just introduced us this aspect of we cannot let go of our actions. But one question comes to mind: why should we let go of actions, or do we have a tendency of letting go of or not wanting to do actions? If yes, can someone just highlight how or what? Yes, Nidhi, you're
Because
saying something.
everyone is doing action. Just in the previous adhyay, Krishna said that even I have to do action if I. So
Okay.
everyone has to do an action. Even breathing is an action. So we
Yeah.
can't renounce the action.
We can't renounce the action, okay, because it's something which is natural. Nahi
It's
kashchit
natural.
kshanam api jatu, as Krishna says.
One
But
who
in
has
spite
taken
of
path
that,
till death, they have to do action.
yeah,
And
but in spite of
desires
that,
are there. Yeah.
we have a tendency to move out of action, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes we run away from actions which we know
Not
will not be
comfortable.
very pleasant. Yeah, the outcome may not be pleasant. And sometimes we
Yes.
are faced with a conflict where, we don't want to do the right thing means unpleasant outcome. So we don't want to do that. So we kind of run away from that action, avoid it altogether.
So it's something like, there are circumstances which are outer as well as inner circumstances, isn't it? Sometimes we want to do something, but we are not able to do something. The main reason is probably we are not fully in control of our minds, no? So this nature is there inside of us to withdraw from anything that is disturbing, anything that is disturbing our sense of regularity. And that is something which is a problem. But let us see, let's continue. What is it Krishna is going to say? And regarding the meditation technique, did anybody try that? What Krishna introduced? Yes, if someone can share something about it, anything. How was it, and what is the need for a meditation technique? Anybody?
It helps you control your mind and senses, basically. If you meditate, gradually it helps you control your mind and
Okay,
senses. Yeah.
it helps us control our mind. With our mind, we can control our senses. Okay, and this technique, what Krishna talked about, how was it actually while doing it?
It was quite easy to, focus your mind because you're focusing on your breath. So the mind has a tendency to jump and run around, but since you're focusing on your breath and, focusing on the center between your eyebrows, so it was much easier.
It was much easier. Okay,
And you
Shobhaji.
tend to slip into, a calm meditative state
A calm
faster.
meditative state. Yes, yes. And
Thoughts
the
were
reason,
controlled.
yes, ji? Sorry?
Thoughts were controlled. Easier to control the mind.
Easier to control the thoughts. Because many times thoughts are not in our control. That is why a lot of psychological troubles come into existence. Because our thoughts are not in control, we become anxious. Because our thoughts are not in our control, it is almost like running on autopilot. The thoughts keep running and disturbing us from doing actions. Sometimes we reminisce on things of the past. Sometimes we think of. It's good to think about the past. It's not. You shouldn't ignore. Like now we are studying something which is really ancient. But to get lost in the past, that is also a problem, isn't it? Sri Aurobindo has very beautifully said, "We belong to the noons of the future, not just the great yesterday." What we can say, the different yesterday's great past history. Everything is important. Yes, because one thing is there in the Bhagavad Gita also about doing Atma Shuddhi or inner purification. Dhyana allows us to do inner purification. It also allows us to sometimes erase what we call sanskaras. Now, this word sanskara is like a, how do we look at it in English? Anybody? What is sanskara?
Tendencies, basically, what we are born
Okay.
with, our nature.
Okay, we are born with, these are fine. They call it prarabdhas. Sometimes you are born with, it's like a baggage. I inherited a account which is in deficit, or I inherited an account with a great credit account. That is different. But that is one thing. And there are other sanskaras which happen in lifetime. No? Certain events take place. Those events create what we call an impression. Those impressions enter into our consciousness or subconscious, and then they kind of sometimes they trouble us from moving forward. Sometimes some events happen and we never get a closure, also, isn't it? And every time our mind is preferring to not think about it. But no matter what you can, you're not in control of your mind. So your mind is going to go back to that same corner. And then these are battles. These are battles sometimes people have to fight. Sometimes people have to fight in everyday life. And there's some psychosomatic link also. The mind connected with the body. What is there happening now? So for all of these things also, it is very important to have a habit of dhyana. And dhyana allows us to sometimes even erase sanskaras with proper meditation. It is a process of Atma Shuddhi. Sometimes you do self introspection. You can see what we call with, if your mind is clear, if your mind is not disturbed by emotions, good times and bad times, both you can look at it. Isn't it? Sometimes we get lost in the I was so great. Those were the good days of my life, that time that and what happens in that? You're looking at forgetting the present, isn't it? You're unconscious of the present. To become more aware, to become conscious, it is important to meditate. And through meditation, we can also sometimes get certain solutions to some problems which we are not able to fully realize. And that's why Krishna has introduced us to this technique. And it is said that any habit has to be formed. It requires us to be a little disciplined. When even good or bad habit, we're talking about both sanskars. So if 14 days you do something continuously, it is more likely that after that it's going to become a part of a habit. So better have a good discipline. And for 14 days. So that is a nice number for us to keep trying to meditate. If we are having troubles with our thoughts, we are having certain difficulties of our own. They say there are a lot of skeletons in the closet. Well, the best cleaning up can be through dhyana. Slowly, slowly, slowly. But let us try this beautiful technique Krishna has given us is for that purpose only. With Shraddha in Krishna or with sincerity in the karma that we are doing, or with the realization that I need to do it with our knowledge, with jnana, that I want to get over certain things in my life. If you sit with that intention for dhyana regularly, then you can watch what a transformation can take place because it makes an entire difference of our life experience only, the perspective with which we think. We see things. Things can go very bad in your life, things can be very good in your life, yet your experience is not dependent on the outer circumstances. In the most difficult moments of our life, when you feel there is no light, there is no positivity, there is no hope, at that time also it can be summoned. That light can be summoned. That light is something like Adityavaj, as we said in the previously, like a Surya, that is a light of knowledge that ignites in the sadhak. That is possible, and for that it is required. That is why dhyana is important. It's like dhyana lights the lamp. We all have the habit of lighting lamps in our homes. Well, this is a another lamp that we must light. That is the lamp inside. So that is probably why Krishna has given us. And so while karmas are important, so is also dhyana. Dhyana is also an excellent karma which allows us to transform ourselves. So with this, we continue with the next shloka. Krishna goes on. He says, Yada hi nendriyartheshu न कर्म स्वनुषज्यते सर्वसंकल्प संन्यासी yogarudhas tadochyate. In his mind too, all attachments he has renounced. When all the wills within are renounced, if he is bereft of desires towards all objects of sense, the zenith of yoga, he has reached thence. I repeat, in his mind too, all attachments he has renounced. When all the wills within are renounced, if he is bereft of desires towards all objects of sense, the zenith of yoga, he has reached thence. Krishna is telling all your attachments in the mind also, if you can try to get free of them. What about all the wills? Sarva Sankalpa Sannyasi. Sankalpa is generally a good, like I have taken a Sankalpa of doing this, what we call a resolution. I have taken this. So now Sarva Sankalpa Sannyasi. Yoga Rudhas Tadochyate. He's a Yoga Rudha who has gone ahead on the path of yoga. This makes it a little confusing in a way. What is the meaning of this? Sarva Sankalpa Sannyasi, somebody who has renounced all of these Sankalpas also. Such a person is not doing anything new. What could the meaning of this be? Anyone?
He does it as a sacrifice, as to the God. I mean, to Krishna.
So he's not the originator, no?
Huh.
Yes, the person does not think I am starting something new. A lot of new things happen through that person, but that person is not initiating. The initiation is from the divine only. Naham karta harihi karta. The doership is totally given up. And at that time, favorable or unfavorable. You are not involved. You have transcended because sometimes things happen according to our wish. Sometimes things happen against our wish. Both times you have to detach yourself because that is an attachment, isn't it? This happened according to my wish. If I get attached, then where is the next karma going to take place? Because every time dynamic action is going on. If I get attached to something, which is very good, again, if I'm attached, it's again a problem. Same way, something bad has happened. Something went against. I should have done this. I should have done that. Can we really? Can I? I can think like this. No, I should have done this. This would have been better. I should have done this. Then I would have had this friend in my life. This person would have been better. He would have talked better. She would have talked better. But these are all what we call hypothetical situations, isn't it? There's no point in looking at once the action has been done and things have to go ahead. Maybe letting go of every attachment to every good or bad, just focusing on the divine. And this is where we see slowly a turn in the Gita. Krishna is slowly introducing Arjuna to the concept of divinity, the concept of the divine, which is actually the concept of, which is the object of meditation. Meditate upon what? One is I want to, the simple reason is, hey, I want to control my mind, so I do dhyana. But where is the dhyana? Kedrit, where is the focus? Where is the focus? Slowly Krishna is taking Arjuna there. Whether or not Arjuna recognizes it, it's a different story. But what is the spirit? What is the garbha of meditation that is being introduced here? Slowly, Krishna goes on. So, for understanding the divine, also, you have to let go of your attachments, isn't it? Otherwise, you will never, you are too busy with your attachments that you're too busy to see the divine beyond your own attachments. So, let's continue. We go to the next shloka. Krishna says, Uddharedatmanatmanam, Natmanam avasadayit, Atmaiva hyatmano bandhur, Atmaiva ripuratmanaha. It sounds like a riddle. It sounds like a puzzle. Too many times this Atma Atma is coming on. Let's just see the shloka once more and let's look at its meaning. I will read it out twice, the English meaning also. But before explaining, I will ask participants only to help explain what could this mean. Krishna is giving a riddle. Uddharedatmanatmanam, natmanam avasadayet, atmaiva hyatmano bandhur, atmaiva ripuratmana. The self alone can set the self free if you allow it to unsuppressed be. For the self is the self's closest friend and also the worst nemesis that the self can portend. I repeat once more. The self alone can set the self free if you allow it to unsuppressed be. For the self is the self's closest friend and also the worst nemesis that self can portend. Can someone tell me something about this?
So does it mean that sometimes, we say that we are only coming in our own way, not to come in your own way and let, whatever happens. तो हम कुछ करने जाते कि नहीं, we will control and come in our own
So
way.
you are okay. We are interfering in our own ways, what Shwetaji is saying. Okay, that's an interesting point. Anybody would like to add?
Yeah, everything is just basically, it's all internal to you.
Okay. Yes, Ji, Indoji, how so? Would you like to add something?
Yeah, in the sense that if I was to form a link from the beginning of this, what you said is basically action. Action cannot be just physical, it has to be from the mind also,
Yes,
right? If I'm
yes.
not wrong. And that,
Conscious, yeah.
yes, conscious. No, so it's not just the physical aspect, it's the mental aspect also. And this is, we are talking in context to dhyana, meditation. And then when you get into that mode, you do a moral cleansing, it starts happening. A moral cleansing also starts
Okay.
happening. And when the moral cleansing starts happening, maybe your resolutions, you don't have too many resolutions that you want to
Yeah,
fulfill because you're already on that path of divinity.
right, right. Yes, Indoji. So,
So, and that is all internal to you. You decided basically.
okay, so I can help myself progress also, isn't it?
Yes, of course.
So am I a friend or am I my enemy?
No, that depends on what choice you make.
Okay,
Yeah. Whether you make the
fine.
right choice or the wrong choice of action in
Okay,
your mind.
all right. Yes, anybody would like to add further?
Yeah,
Indoji has also
I
given
just wanted to
wonderful meaning.
ask, what does he
Yes, yes.
mean by self? What does he mean by self? Is it the
Uh,
mind, body, and soul together? So, are we talking about that? And in which case, we use mind as a tool to reach this that thing. Uh,
wow, actually, this batch, everybody has already answered the riddle. Krishna answers it in the next shloka, but everyone has gone very close to what Krishna is going to be sharing. So, yes, it is actually the riddle in the sense the self can alone set the self free. So whatever this self is, we'll just keep it in abeyance right now. This Atma is the word in this in the Sanskrit like shloka. But what is it referring to? We'll come to see that in the next shloka. But it can allow it to be free when it is allowed to be free. When you allow your inner spirit to be free. Sometimes we don't allow that, no? What happens when we're a child? We are free. We are free to run around. We are free to fall down. We are free to let our dress get dirty. We are free to make mistakes. We are free to learn. We laugh. We cry. All those things are there as a child when you are totally free. But when we grow up, what happens?
Fear.
We change. Yes, Induji. Yes, please. You're saying something.
Fear, perhaps. The
Fear
element of
comes in.
fear comes in, you know.
Fear comes in. Then I can't make mistakes. Then if I make mistake, and I'll tell myself how dirty you are, how bad you are. You have made mistake. You are not good. Yes, Vijay please tell me.
लोग क्या कहेंगे
Look,
लोग
what will people say? What will people say? There's so many, what we can say, uh, hurdles come into ourselves when we are not freeing ourselves. Means most of the problems in our life are sometimes not really due to outer circumstances. It is because of our inner circumstances. No matter what situation it is, we really can choose to experience bliss even in the most difficult situation. Sri Aurobindo was inside of a prison which is 6 by 9 feet waiting to be hanged for a crime that he did not do. Did he become the victim of circumstance? No, he did not. He started his sadhana there, inside of that prison, in the most difficult. He said he was on the verge of insanity before he got the realization. But to dare to go inside, to dare to even face situations, to dare to face the truth, sometimes it requires a lot of courage to even forgive yourself, isn't it? Mistakes have been made. So it's all right. I didn't do it purposely. It's okay, isn't it? Willingly or consciously, if you have not done a mistake, you don't have to hurt yourself so much. But that is the problem many times. So if you allow the inner self to be free, life can be brilliant. Life can be blissful. You can live a very, it does not matter on outer circumstance. It does not, not even your monetary situation. Not even monetary. Well, I know people who are not even bothered by physical difficulties also. What we talk about ailments also do not prevent them from experiencing a joyous experience. There was one girl I just through online I contacted her because somebody I wanted some artwork to be done. She was doing very wonderful mandala art. So somebody else wanted an artwork done. So I just contacted and she responded. And first thing she talked to on the phone was full of laughter. And then when I asked her, okay, how do you do? What are you doing? And then she's like, Bhaiya, I'm permanently in one room and I can't leave the home. I'm in continuously so much pain. The pain is so much that I can't do anything. But the laughter was so much in her voice, the liveliness in her art. She's not in a very strong situation financially, also. She has to spend so much on her treatments every day of her life, but yet the smile was the brightest in spite of the pain. How is this possible? Well, this is the aspect. This is what we say. When you allow yourself to be free, otherwise, if you don't allow yourself to be free, you might be living in Swarga and it might feel like Naraka. That is the danger, and that is where we understand that Krishna is talking about mind. Mind is the factor which allows us to sometimes become free and jump to the realms which are higher than the mind, like the Vedic rishis did. The Vedic rishis understood that mind is just one small portion of some things which are yet to come or which are higher than the mind. So they used the mind like a springboard to dive into a higher consciousness. But then there were the bhogis, those who were attached. They got trapped inside of the maze of the mind only, and that is where the mind becomes the biggest enemy. That is what Krishna is introducing. For the self is the self's closest friend, and also the worst nemesis that the self can portend. So the mind is the greatest friend also, and the mind is also the greatest enemy. But then comes the big question. When is the mind the friend and when is the mind enemy? Why is it important to know this? Anybody? When the mind is friend and when, what is the use of this? Krishna is going to tell us that as well. But before we look at it, what will that help us? How will it help us?
So self-love, self-growth, mind, where it takes
Okay.
us. Yeah.
Yeah. So where it's the, we can actually choose that, isn't it? We can choose the friend only, no? Nobody will consciously choose an enemy. Okay, come on, hey Brutus, come, this is my back. Here, stab me. That's not what we are going to do. And why should we stab ourselves in the back? So we have to choose the friend, we have to figure out. So that is why we need the explanation that Krishna is giving. The very next shloka, let us see. Bandhuratmatmanastasya yenaitma yenait maivatmana jitaha anatmanastu shatrutve vartetatmaiva shatruvat. Can I repeat once more? Bandhuratmatmanastasya येनात्मैवात्मना जितः अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत्. The self, Krishna says, the self as a the self as a friend can be thus considered when the lower self's pull has been conquered. I repeat it once more, the first part. The self as a friend can be thus considered when the lower self's pull has been conquered, meaning the self is a friend when the self is allowing myself to control myself and not get carried away by the lower pulls of nature, lower forces, or we can say even desires, or into reacting. Many times something happens and it's like some people are there who come to irritate. What should you do at that time? Should you get irritated? Should try to control, isn't it? So if your mind can say, don't get irritated. Don't get irritated. This person is triggering you, is playing with you. Don't react. Don't react. I'll give you a chocolate if you don't react. Don't react. If your mind is able to talk to you that way, your mind is able to help you control whichever way. You don't have to bribe yourself this way, like I gave an example. But if you are able to control this urge, the lower urges to get frustrated, to get angry, to throw things, to get wild, to go, all of those things, if you are able to control inside of you, you have a friend sitting who is going to help you. That is the time when you can easily understand that there is a friend. When you are able to pull yourself away from this lower forces. The one, that is the friend inside. But when is it the enemy? But when the higher self one does not know, then the self is the self's greatest foe. When the higher self one does not know the self, then the self is the self's greatest foe. Meaning, when inside of you there is something higher, there is something divine, when you are not knowing that only, when you are not able to recognize that there is a divine inside of you, then you can understand that, hey, there's a foe sitting inside. My question is, do you listen to friends or do you listen to foes?
Friends.
Friends only, isn't it? So anytime you get a message from the inside, which is telling you are undivine, you are weak, you are helpless, you are insignificant, you have no good, you have done nothing nice, there is nothing good going to happen. Understand, this is not Krishna speaking, this is probably Shakuni Mama only. We do not want to give or yield to such, because it's so sad. Many people go through entire lifetimes not even knowing that they have divinity inside of them. They're like, you are not like this. You have nothing. You are weak. You are hopeless. There is no possible potential. Many people go through that because this is the sanskar which is created in them many times. Like even in school, no, children are sometimes taught by teachers. Unfortunately, you are fool because you didn't memorize something I asked you to memorize. So you are a foolish person. You are hopeless. You are nothing. And because of these kind of words, these words are repeated so many times. Then students go to college. We were all surprised. We thought we knew nothing in school. You are very hopeless in school, but when we went to college, we are hearing the same dialogue. Then some of my friends had a discussion. Tomorrow we'll get a job. In school, they kept teaching us we don't know anything. In college also, they are telling the same thing. Tomorrow we get a job, they will tell us the same thing. You don't know anything. Our question is, how are we graduating from school to college, then to job? Maybe these people who are telling all of this to us are not really right. That's a simple hypothesis, isn't it? That's a simpler understanding than really believing, because so many people feel they have nothing. So this game happens in the mind. The mind plays this game many times. This is a one of the limitations of the mind, that the mind allows sanskaras. It's like a, what we can say, like water, no? Whatever color you put to it, it has no color of its own, but what color you put, it takes on that color. Same is the thing with the mind. Something bad happened. That's it. Now I will not take it anymore because my mind is sanskar is created. Instead, you should become free of all of it. Then all situations you will look with the same enthusiasm, good or bad situation. Like everybody knows, isn't it? The cat will always drink milk, yes or no? But there was this story of how a cat was tricked. The cat was continuously given hot milk. So the cat would go in excitement and try to drink the milk and get its tongue burnt. It happened so many times that now when the cat sees milk, it runs away. Because that is a sanskara. So in some things like that, in life, some moments create deep sanskaras and then they affect our life experience completely. Those have to be removed. And the only way, simplest way to remember, to remove all those things is to recognize an inherent divinity inside of us. There is a higher self. Maybe I have not realized it. Maybe I don't fully know, but let me at least remember Krishna's words. Whether or not I have conscious awakening inside of me, it matters not. But let me remember that there is a divinity. That is the very important message that we can see here. What happens then? When your troubles are over. Then your troubles are over. There is nothing that is going to trouble you. But for that, you have to rise. You really have to rise. A friend, one participant also, and is a doctor also, but she shared her experience that she kept getting some very horrible dreams. And she felt those dreams are connected to a past life. And in the past life, an injustice has been done to her. Now, if you look at it, it sounds a little crazy, but it was actually affecting her everyday life so much that she developed eating disorders. She said, she started having aversion to even some gods also. She said, this happened in that life inside of the temple only, this experience I got. So I will, and that aspect was hurting so much, having such a strong impact. So this is something which we have to, and that is why dhyana is an important thing. Krishna is saying we have to rise. We have to rise. Each of us have been provided certain experiences for our in our life. The reason they have come also are for our growth and for moving forward. We have to take it as a test, understand it, and if we don't pass the test also, there's no problem. You will get another chance always. So in life, it is not like some exam which comes once in a life. The divine keeps giving us more and more opportunities, but at least come to terms with it and move ahead, not stay in the past. Krishna says, Jitatmanaha prashantasya paramatma samahitaha shitoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha manapamanayoho. The victor of the self experiences the perfect peace, and in the greatest oneness, all fluctuations cease, neither in heat or cold, nor in loss or gain, and in honor or dishonor, finds not he glory or pain. I repeat once more. The victor of the self experiences the perfect peace, and in the greatest oneness, all fluctuations cease, neither in heat or cold, nor in loss or gain, and in honor or dishonor, finds not he glory or pain. So the one who is the Jitat Manaha, the one who has won the battle on the inside, the one who has found a friend sitting inside permanently, the one who cannot be taken for a ride by the lower forces, the one who has overcome all these attachments, that person, what happens to that person? That person is Prashanta. He is experiencing the highest peace, the ultimate peace in life. It's like, what's up? Everything is chill. Always. No matter what happens, that person is calm and peaceful on the inside. Because in that oneness, these fluctuations of life will disappear. The fluctuations cease. The person is in full calmness, neither in heat or cold. Many times people get frustrated, isn't it? Why is this year summer so bad? Why is it still extending? As if you ask this question and the sun will feel guilty and is going to stop shining. It's not going to change. Or this summer is more hotter than the last summer. Or my city has changed so much. It is not like the old times. I mean, every city, everybody tells that, isn't it? And what age people say this dialogue? From 4-year-old child to 80-year-old person is going to use the same dialogue. Yes, Vijay is saying something. Yes.
My sister and myself, we used to play this game
Okay.
during the summer vacations when it was incredibly hot. She used to say, "You go to the North Pole, I'll go to the South Pole, and we'll enjoy the cold." And then after a
Oh,
few minutes, we'll say, "Oh, it's so cold, it's so cold."
oh, lovely. Look at that. Vijay is giving such a beautiful. This was when, Vijay? This was during
It's school time.
in school times. Okay. So it's such a sweet thing, and this really allows you to at least whether or not temperature on the outside changes, the inner temperature does change, isn't it? You are now no more worried about variables which you cannot control. Instead, you are focusing on a constant, which is the inner one, and the peace is there on the inside. That's what Krishna is talking about. Greatest oneness, all fluctuations will cease, meaning there is no fluctuation at all. It's a steady mind, steady body, steady action. Everything is steady there with full clarity. Neither in heat or cold, nor in loss or gain. I did a wonderful business. I did not even break even. I actually went in loss. But it's still okay. It's a part of business, isn't it? It happens sometimes, it does not. You cannot suddenly have a heart attack or have so much anxiety just because once things have gone against you. And there are people who have regularly things going against them and yet they are smiling. That's why sometimes they say Nirlajjam Sada Sukhi. Have you heard of this dialogue? This line, Nirlajjam Sada Sukhi. और in Hindi जिसने की शर्म उसके फूटे करम.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because many times we are trapping ourselves in our own mental constructs. The person who is not bothered about anything, I'm doing my duties. I don't need to worry about the consequences at all, whether it's loss or it's gain. And next, the interesting part, in honor or dishonor. Means in praise also, when people are saying, "Oh, what a brilliant person you are," I think this is a little easier, isn't it? "Oh, you are very brilliant." We'll say, "No, no, no, I am not brilliant," but our face will have a small smile and we'll actually be taking a small trickle of that praise that is coming to us. So it's a little easier to be. Kalaji wants to say something. Yes, ji.
Would it equate to ignorance is easy on our conscience?
Yes, ignorance is not easy on the conscience, though. Actually, Karaji, it is it when until the karma phala comes, it's very easy on the conscience. But the consequences when they come, no, the wrong actions, ignorance is pseudo bliss. Because until the consequence comes, you are oh happy in ignorance. But this talking about the poise and all moments, like we were, for example, we were just looking at praise. When somebody praises you, it's easy to say, "Oh, no, 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 it's okay. I didn't do anything. I'm not really so great." But we're actually taking it's easier to be neutral when you are being praised. But criticism, when it is given, that time it's very difficult, no? To be neutral. What a useless person! He is the most useless person some that can ever exist. Somebody tells that to you, and you're like, what? How dare he say that? Yes, Vijiji, yes, please.
One of my patients passed away,
Your
and
patience.
yeah, one of my
Okay.
patients passed away,
Yes,
and I
ji.
was really upset. I was very upset, and I talked to my friends, and he has read the Bhagavad Gita lots of times.
Yeah.
So he's my go-to person.
Okay,
So
great.
so he told me long time back. So he told me, this patient that you say that died because of your mistake. So all the
Huh.
patients that you cured, you're saying you cured all your other patients. So you're taking
Yes,
credit
isn't
for
it?
that.
Yes.
So I said, no,
So
that is all
wonderful.
thanks to God. So he said,
Yes.
okay, this is not thanks to God. So you don't take responsibility for anything. Keep it neutral.
Yes, yes. Our good and our bad moments. If we take ownership of
Yeah.
good moments, then we are taking ownership of bad moments, and that is creating trouble. So that's a very nice point Vijayji has said. If you want
You
to
really put
remain
it in
calm,
perspective for me. Yeah.
yes, ji?
Really put it in perspective for me.
Yes,
That's
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So is it fair to say that a positive attitude and an optimist, a person who's an optimist with a positive outlook, has realized its higher self, sometimes
Not
without knowing
always,
it
not
also?
always. If that optimist is willing to take criticism also with optimism, then the person has realized it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
That because criticism also has its role. जैसे निंदक नियरे राखियो आंगन कुटी सवाय बिन पानी साबुन बिना निर्मल करे सुहाए. Keep your critics closer, or in the movies it is talked in, I think Godfather only. My father has taught me to keep my friends close, but enemies closer,
So I'm
because
talking
then
of positive attitude in terms of good and bad, like being balanced.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Neutral,
So,
neutral is better.
okay.
Neutral
Yeah.
is, but because we have to recognize what is wrong also. Because sometimes if it be like it's like an ism, any ism is generally a problem. So if it's too much of optimism and you are trying to force everything to be positive, then what is negative is also negative, isn't it? Some
Mm.
situations you cannot really, you have to just look at it as part of life. Criticism also as praise also. One very nice experience I got, it was in one city which is, I don't know if it's my favorite city or least favorite city, but it is in Bangalore. I had gone there, and there I was supposed to meet the editor of a magazine. I had gone on behalf of our NGO, and he was very interested in covering a particular book that I wrote. And I thought, I am going on behalf of the NGO, I will tell him to cover a particular project, and that particular project is what I wanted to speak to him about. And it was not that I chose to meet that individual, and that individual has been already featuring some writings which I have written on the Veda and all. So I thought, chalo, theek hai, the editor of a magazine which is connected to temples, which is going to probably, it will be a good meeting. So I thought it's worth the time. So I really got a cab, traveled for nearly 1.5 hours, and reached that place. And there, that individual gave a very hard time to me. First, he expected me to touch his feet and bow to him, which I did not feel naturally. So I was just namaste, I did it. And then he said, I don't understand why you came to Bangalore. I said, I had a project. I came for a project of our NGO. And why did you not call me? I said, I had plans with something else. I was going to meet one plus I one minister also was interested in knowing about our project. So I thought I'll go speak there. But he said, I have the phone number of the chief minister. Unless a child cries, even the mother does not help. And he was going off tangent so much that I could not understand what is going on. I said, sorry, next time when I come, I will ask you. I'll plan my trip according to your suggestion. And without being sarcastic, I spoke to him, and it just descended into absolute chaos where I have gone with a good intention. It just went on so much that he said, I see your falsehood in your eyes. Guys, why do you go? I said, if Krishna wishes, I have taken a journey. I thought it is, he will lead. I did not make any plan. He said, nobody comes without a plan. I said, I really didn't have a plan. It was just going lower and lower. And then he said, why don't you see Krishna in me? And I was still more confused. But I was like, yes, maybe next time, whatever I was trying to say. And then he started saying, there's too much ego in you. And without any, I mean, I didn't ask for, I didn't take his diksha, I didn't ask for margadarshan, but it was just going on. And suddenly he just said, you know, your eyes are not meeting with my eyes because there is falsehood in you. There is so much falsehood inside of you that your eyes. That was where I thought it is enough. I'm standing representing an NGO. I cannot just keep getting being a punching bag. So I just said the reason my eyes are not meeting yours not because of falsehood, because I don't agree with what you are saying. He immediately acted like I have got his neck only. He said, too much ego. He said, get out, and he sent me out. And I was just while going, is it Krishna who is asking me to go? Is my question. That made him further angry, and I thought he'll hate me. So this was a crazy experience. And this is what we can say height of Apman. And I was like, why did I spend so much time, so much money just to go to get this? This was something I didn't understand. It was not logical because this was not something I expected. But again, something very interesting happened is somebody gave a pagdi also, and people gave something. Within 24 hours, I was given respect also. And when I reported this to my Guruji, here a lot of people, this they wanted to discuss, they asked me questions, and this was a very different experience. He said, which is true? So that was a very interesting question Damleji asked. Was the insult true or which was the praise true? So it's a matter of perspective only, isn't it? The insult is true for that person from that person's point of view. If I just say Sri Krishna Panam, praise has gone to Krishna, insult also has gone to Krishna. I am going as a Duta, isn't it? So I have done my duty. Now here things did not go. He said your director is bad. Well, my director is good. Some movies people like, some people don't like. It's a matter of perspective. But this aspect of being poised in happiness and pain, in good moments and bad moments, in insult and praise, that is something which is essential, which we must also learn because we don't take criticism very well. We cannot tolerate criticism, most of us. And a lot of time, even people on the spiritual path pretend to be very open to criticism, but are very narcissistic because they're not ready to face some opposite perspectives. That is a problem, and that is where we have to quietly be on the inside, is what Krishna is saying. Because then only the fluctuations will stop, then you will really experience peace. Praise or blame, whatever you have done, you just deal it with a poise. Krishna goes on, Jnana Vijnana Truptatma, Kutastho Vijitendriyaha, Yukta Ityuchyate Yogi Samaloštashma Kanchana. Not just people, not just moments. Krishna is saying towards objects also we must show equanimity. So I'll just say Jnana Vijnana Truptatma, Kutastho Vijitendriyaha. Yukta ityuchyate yogi samaloštashma kanchana. With the self gnosis, poised he remains. The realization has come. The realization of there is divinity inside of me. Whether or not somebody says I am a fool, or whether or not somebody says I am the worst asura in the Kali Yuga, or somebody says I am the Deva of the Rig Veda. Let's not get carried away. I get the understanding from the inside. When that answer comes, when the understanding comes, you are blissful. You are blissful and what we call truptatma, the atma that is santushta, that is in a state of contentment, unaffected by senses and tranquil in all planes. Next is the interesting part. And regards alike clay, gold, or stone. Towards all objects, an equanimity is shown. So Krishna says this. With the self-gnosis poised, he remains unaffected by senses and tranquil in all planes, and regards alike clay, gold, or stone. Towards all objects, an equanimity is shown. So towards objects also, the person is showing an equanimity, and the objects Krishna is talking about are clay, gold, and stone. Treat them alike. My question is, can we treat them alike? Yes. Anybody? Yes. Anyone can. Does anybody here feel you can treat them alike?
Gold is
Not in
just
this
a rock.
materialistic world.
Okay. Induji says no, not in this materialistic world. Vijayji?
Gold is kept in the locker.
Gold is kept in the locker. Okay. Kalaji, yes,
Not yet.
not yet.
Maybe.
Okay, nobody. Okay, Abhaji,
Maybe.
Stone we
maybe.
do pray to.
Okay, since somebody said maybe, then I can probably give my address and I will say, please send all the gold in your home to that address. I will replace it with stone. Who is willing to do that? Anybody?
Only the monk who sold his Ferrari could do that, perhaps.
Okay, but Gita is not telling us we have to be monks in the Ferrari also. So what do
Yeah,
we do
yeah.
now? Isn't
Yeah.
it? Okay, right. So this aspect of equanimity, it's not, it is like looking with a balance, not saying all are equal. Change market values of gold equal to stone and no, it's not that. Treating with oneness. No matter how much gold you have, if you are in a desert and you are thirsty, would you run after one more, say, a biscuit of gold or a brick of gold, or would you say, I want a glass of water? Water, isn't it? Meaning each has its own use, each has its own place. There, no matter what, if somebody says, I'll buy only one, I'll give you all the gold in the world, but you are in the desert and for you, you need water. So at that time, it's absolutely pointless. You'll throw away all the gold, but you say, just give me one drop of water, please. Just one drop of water, because each has its own value and each has its own place. So gold is that because gold has its value. It is a symbol. It is pure. It has a great value in the material world. Indeed. But what about clay? Where clay has to be used, there clay is only going to be used, isn't it? There gold is of no use. Same with stone. So this aspect of able to look at it with oneness, because many times what happens, somebody wears gold and goes to a particular function. Gold is glittering very much on the, say, the necklace or whatever jewelry that is worn. But that gold is also burning in some other eyes also, isn't it? What is happening? Our eyes, we get driven by desire. People kill each other for gold or not. Relations are spoiled because of gold. Are they worth it at the end of the day? No life is more than some object.
But the
So
thing
many
is,
places. Yes, Abhaji. Okay, Shwetaji first and then Abhaji. Yes, please.
So, can this shloka be extended to, like regular inanimate objects, basically beyond gold and like the price or anything? Like, does it also mean that equanimity, like everything, right from, like holding a glass to, like sitting, standing chair, carpet, like treating that with attention and like, being aware, like that is that
Yes.
also?
Yes. Looking at it, it's like a yogi is not going to suddenly feel, oh, gold, now I'm going to buy this. This is required. I really need. The people get hypnotized by the power of, this is what we can say greed, isn't it? Greed enters into people. Again, clay and stone. So each is means objects towards objects, we must have an equanimity. No matter how much gold is enough to bribe each of us in life.
zero.
No, isn't it? Huh? Because we have our values, we have our principles. And if we recognize the value of principles, gold has no value in front of that, isn't it? But there are so many who sell their values for gold because they have forgotten the equanimity is lost. This means for this I will do anything. And people sell their souls for it, no? That's what happens. Abhaji is saying something. Yes, please.
Yeah, I wanted to add that everything has its own importance at appropriate place.
It is
There
appropriate
is,
place and equanimity. We should
yeah,
understand the limits of things, isn't it?
yeah,
Not just
mm,
get over carried away and understand
yeah.
the value. So that
There
is
is one
important.
bhajan. There
Yes,
is
dear.
one Marathi bhajan. You may be knowing
Yes.
it.
Yes, dear.
सोन्या चांदीचा देव त्याला चोराचं भेव मातीचा देव त्याला पाण्याचं भेव There is, जो
Yes,
अगर आप
yes.
मिट्टी की मूर्ति बनाएंगे तो पानी से बह जाएगी गोल्ड की मूर्ति बनाएंगे तो चोर लूट के ले जाएंगे So भगवान की
Yes.
मूर्ति बनाओ, गोल्ड से भी बनाओ तो भी it may be stolen by the thieves. So
Yes.
the right place, right material needs to be used at right place.
Yes. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, Ji. Somebody was asking something, is it?
The
Was it a-
intrinsic value, basically, right? Of
Yes.
every
Yes, absolutely.
object.
Yes, the intrinsic value of every object. First, we talked about moments. Now we are looking at objects. Yes, Vijay is saying something.
I think it also refers to all kinds of people, like how you value different kinds of people.
That's interesting, but people is coming in the next shloka, Vijay. Right now, it's like first in moments. Look at all the oneness in all moments. That is important. Then, just one moment. Yes, so the oneness in all moments, that is one thing we have to see. Happy moments, sad moments, comfortable moments, uncomfortable moments, high moments, low moments, everything is, if you can see oneness, all fluctuations will cease, you will be blissful. Second, objects. If you're not going to get swayed by objects, just because something is made of gold, does it have to be beautiful?
No.
Something made of clay can also be beautiful, isn't it? Same with something made of stone. But when will you be able to observe the beauty in it? When you are not biased, when you're not attached to the value, outer value of things, then you will see. For someone who has lost a dear one, a smallest, even a small, maybe not even semi-precious stone, just a stone which was held by somebody and it was held very closely to the heart, and that person has given it to you. You recover that, that would be more valuable than the greatest treasure in the world, isn't it? Because each of these objects are just outer objects. We must understand that everything has to be looked at with a balance and poise. That is what is the samatha of the Gita, the oneness. Now comes the next shloka, which is very interesting. We'll stop with this shloka. And then comes the second technique of meditation that we will see tomorrow. But we stop now in shloka number 9. Suhurun mitraryudasinam adhyastad dveshya bandhushu sadhushvapi cha papeshu samabuddhir vishishyate. So Krishna says, the enemies or the friends who are dearest, sowers of discord, or the callous, or indifferent nearest, the holy saint, or the wretched sinner, he who as one perceives is the ultimate progressor. The ultimate yogi, the one who is going to progress, is the one who can see samatha, who can see oneness. Oneness in what? First in moments, then in objects, and now we see people also. This is the enemies or the friends who are dearest. How can we see friends and enemies as one? Anybody?
The way that
Oneness.
we
Should
see
we
it.
use oneness for friends and enemies?
It's the way we see it sometimes.
Yes, sorry?
It's the way that we see it.
Yeah, okay, but how do we see it? I mean, is there a logic to it? Can I say, okay, right,
No,
my friend, I go for giving a hug to my friend. If I go
मोह
and do the
माया
same thing with my enemy, the enemy might
मोह
actually.
माया मोह माया से
Yes.
दूर रहते मोह माया से दूर हो जाते हैं और क्या कहते हैं उसको सब में
But
oneness
Maya
देखते
to
सब
sab
में
kuch Maya hai is what some
नहीं
people
नहीं
say. So,
आई मीन
yes.
अगर आप जाने कि सब आत्मा है पवित्र आत्माएं हैं तो आप
Okay.
समानता ला सकते हैं
Yeah, that is beautiful. I think Sarita ji said, looking at everybody as an Atman, as a divine being. Meaning, a instrument of the divine can use everybody as instruments, isn't it? Friends also and enemies. If you are a seeker of the divine, will you not learn from the divine? Just because the divine has taken, I am going to come in this form. No, no, I don't like this form. You come in that form, then I will learn. You come as my friend, speak to me sweetly, then only I learn. If you come from another place, I will not learn. Can we do that?
no, yes.
We cannot choose, isn't it, where lessons come to us from. Only we can understand. Friends will willingly teach us, enemies will unwillingly teach us. or unconsciously teach us. They'll not want to teach us, but still we can learn. Sometimes God will place somebody we don't like in a particular path, sometimes to test us, or sometimes to give us an indication that this is not the path you are going to choose. You have an option, you say, "Acha, theek hai." Then you'll say, "Thank you, God, for keeping that person there because I went on this route. I got my solution." So, this is a different aspect of seeing oneness in friends and enemies also. It's like clay, gold, and stone again. We do not change the difference. We can't go suddenly to, like, our soldiers cannot be expected to go on the borders and say, "Oh, dear friends from the other side of the border, here, we'll keep our weapons aside, you keep your weapons aside." Nothing of that sort. They have to stand. But to understand this important principle that friends and foes, treat them as one. Don't get so attached to your friends. No matter what your friend says, you are going to say it's correct and truth. That is also moha only, no? You get lost. Your friends, they are not gods. Friends have human nature, friends have this drawbacks of human nature also. But because of our attachment, we give green signal to whatever our friends do. And then somebody becomes enemy. That means we have written their name in our bingo books only. Lifelong, this person is going to, even if that person doesn't do something wrong, you are still looking at that person with that attitude only. What will happen? There is not going to be reconciliation anytime when you're already divided so much in your head. Plus, you can always, enemies also can teach, and more often than not, more than friends, enemies teach us more if we know how to learn from them. That attitude depends on us. So that is one thing. Sowers of discord. There are some people. I think we know these characters in our life. They come just to create trouble. Everything is going well. Come do something. Did you know this person was doing that? And that's all. The story is changed. The quietude of so many probably hours is suddenly lost in one moment. So sowers of discord or the careless or the indifferent nearest. Everybody has a purpose in the grand scheme of things, maybe not in our scheme of things, but in the divine scheme of things, everybody is a important player, whether or not we like it. We are not choosing everything in our life. We cannot choose anybody in our life also. Who comes in, who goes out. Nothing can be chosen. It happens by divine's grace only. We have to realize oneness in that. Sowers of discord or the callous. Sometimes you help people, but you fall down and you expect them to just help you, but they don't even raise their hands. Instead, they just walk away indifferently, carelessly. That is difficult. It's difficult to see, but look at it with a peaceful attitude. Understand that is part of life. Next is the most difficult experience, indifferent nearest. It's like the one you care for the most is the farthest away from you. That's a very difficult experience, isn't it? In college, lots of people, young men and young women, keep getting that. I love this person so much. That person does not care, or sometimes does not even know that the other person exists. So what happens? Ghazals are sung, story songs are told about how life is colorless and all of that. But can a person drown in that sorrow? Completely. No, it's all right. It's all right. The reality is to accept the truth, isn't it? To accept the truth and move on. Things don't happen the way you want them to happen. That's an important principle which we must realize. We cannot get worked up and disturbed and spoil our entire lives because of that. But that is what happens when we don't have the poise. So Krishna is again reminding, and so much so that he's saying, don't get carried away by saints also. Saints also can make mistakes. Sinners also can sometimes do good unknowingly. Everything is dynamic. Krishna is saying, who sees oneness in the saint and the sinner? Who can see oneness in the friend and the enemy? In the well wisher and the person who is creating divide? In the heartless and the indifferent. Everywhere, if you can see oneness, Krishna says, you are the ultimate progressor. You are the yogi who has walked ahead on the path. Simplest aspect is if you want to see other a litmus test of your sadhana is if you can see oneness in everybody, however they are. If you can see oneness, you're already a universal being, and you are now very, very eligible to receive some more tidings from Krishna himself, because he says these are the greatest yogis who have walked ahead. So I think with this, we will just stop here. It is again in showing us the importance of samatha, samatha in all moments, success, failure. Sometimes we invest a lot in doing certain experiments in life, and those experiments fail, no? But that is also a learning experience, isn't it? I failed. How many of us can happily say I failed? It's difficult, but we should be able to. We should be able to, because that is the only way we can move on. Otherwise, our life will be stuck in reverse gear. Will not be able to go. And for that, it is important to see oneness. That's an important principle Krishna is saying. And these are all little things which allow us to clear our mind. And when we clear our mind, only we can start going deeper into meditation. Then meditation becomes therapeutic. Then meditation leads to transformation, meditation leads to awakening, because this is the simplest way to clear off sanskaras. And that is what Krishna is introducing. It's very interesting, this chapter. Krishna is talking about the psychology behind dhyana, the psychology for doing meditation. And with this, I conclude the session. Just one small question. What about Arjuna? On a scale of 10, how much do you think he is going to resonate with what Krishna is saying? Anybody? Yes, on a scale of 10. After a while, Arjuna will become so ahead that we will not be able to touch or even hypothetically rate him, because Arjuna will suddenly show different colors of after transformation. Krishna will give him certain things which will make us feel, "Arey, before reaching Krishna's consciousness, let us reach Arjuna's consciousness first." But right now, Arjuna is very much within our radar. So if we want to give him on a scale of 10, anybody, what do you think? How much is he understanding? Is he going to resonate with what Krishna says? Is he going to say, thank you, finally, up to sixth adhyaya, you somehow dragged on, but now you finally are telling sense. Yes, Vijiji.
I think 5.
Okay. Arjuna is going, Vijiji says 5 for Arjuna. That's like almost, you can say, is past. Yes. Anybody?
3.
Yes, Abhaji?
3.
Sorry?
3.
3. Okay, 3. Abhaji says 3. Anyone
Yeah.
else? And
No,
yeah.
we just forgot Arjuna. It seems that if Krishna is telling to us, or he is teaching to us
Okay.
only.
So we forgot about Arjuna completely. Okay, yes.
I feel suddenly it has become relevant because now he's talking about enemies, the people.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So he's actually standing in front of the so-called enemies, and now he has that thing. Okay, these were my relatives, and now they are my enemies. So that duality, he'll be able to cross over, I feel. So I would give
So
him a
he's
7.
able to see it better, and probably now Arjuna is
Yeah.
going to, because metaphysical truths have now become quite practical, is what Krishna is showing. Okay. Yes. Yes. Anybody else, or we'll just.
I also forgot about the Arjuna. I thought
Okay.
Krishna is teaching us only.
Okay, yes, Rekha is saying for Arjuna is now out of the picture. Directly Krishna.
Yes,
That's also good actually. That
Krishna
is
is
why
teaching us
Krishna has
only,
told
na?
us. Yes,
Everything we are implying on us only, na? Whether we
yes,
have to
yes,
do
yes,
this.
absolutely. So,
So,
but nobody is giving Arjuna 1 and 2 and 0, no?
No, I don't think
He
so.
has become improved. He is improved, is what everybody feels. Every time it is like that. I had a friend who would write exam and say full marks, but when the results come out, we'll know exactly. So Arjuna is going to say we are little away from that shloka yet. It will take some time. Arjuna is going to share his report card. That time we'll see. But at least now it feels quite relevant what Krishna is saying, to relevant to us probably even relevant to Arjuna's outer circumstances as well. So I think with this, we are ready to conclude. Can someone share some takeaway points? Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Ji.
So, for me, today takeaway is that just cling to the divine and just remember that
What to the divine, Ji? Shweta Ji, sorry, I missed the
cling,
first word.
cling to
Cling
the
to
divine.
the
Yeah.
divine. Clinging,
Because
holding on to the
yeah,
divine
holding on
at all
because
times.
yeah, because all of us are instruments and action is not the person. So you cannot equate action to that person. So while you are like, clinging to the divine, like I feel, yeah, that is the message that I will have that equipoise to, not have this judgment, or I'll have this equipoise to discern and move that ठीक है, hold that person with
Okay.
compassion. Yeah.
Okay. So Shweta Ji says clinging to the divine, not being judgmental of others. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Shubha Ji is saying something? Yeah.
Yeah, just be neutral. See the divine in all living and non-living objects, everything, and just try to be neutral. Don't
Yes,
get
neutral is
attached to it.
important, isn't it? We can't simply, it'll be like false flag. No, if you just even what is negative, also you say it's positive, then you're not understanding the situation. So, but looking at all as what it is without
See the
really
divine in everything.
saying, probably figuring out and seeing the divine in everything. Yes. All right, Shobha Ji.
So
Yes.
through oneness, you get the balance.
Through oneness, balance can be caught. And
Yeah.
that is the future, isn't it? Oneness of mankind. It's a very, maybe far away. But ultimately, that would be the state of evolution, isn't it? When we can become truly one. Maybe
But
it may
that would
start from small societies, individuals, groups, and then maybe larger. Yes. But that oneness has to be seen, definitely. Yes.
So I'm just reminded of these lines. Maybe I'm not saying it properly, but in a poem, Sri Aurobindo has written that my enemy's downfall is my own disgrace, something like that. So I'm sure
Sorry?
that my enemy's downfall is my own disgrace. So
Oh, that's so beautiful.
yeah,
The
yeah.
downfall.
So,
Okay, yes, and
so
also elsewhere there is his enemies are the ones he came to save. So we have to just see this as oneness aspect is important in sadhana, and that is the probably take home. We have to establish that oneness. Until we establish the oneness in our heart, in our understanding. We're not saying all are equal. There is a sameness, oneness, uniformity, equality. There are a lot of differences in all of these words. Krishna is just asking us to see things as they are without getting disturbed, without getting, emotionally disturbed. It's also a process of healing, no? Then, when we can see maybe whatever we've all gone through certain things, injustices, and we experience them, and then we don't come to terms with it because we're not able to come to terms, not able to heal. So just coming to terms with it, it is yes, this has happened, this is there, it's all right. But all of this is something, part of some really big, probably game which we probably don't fully understand at this moment. So I think with this, let us conclude. We will look at a second technique of meditation. Not only will we look at the technique of meditation, we will also be seeing what are the steps we have to take before meditating, how to meditate, where to meditate. Is there some suggestions from Krishna? That is something we'll see in the next session. With this, we conclude with the Shanti Mantra. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyit dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tatsat. Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Hari Om. Punarmilam. We see you tomorrow. Namaskar.
Hari
Thank
Om.
you.
Namaste.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Thank
thank
you.
you
Hari
so
Om.
much.
Thank you, Ji. Hari Om.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.